Tuesday the 26th, I think. Another Q&A night. I'm going to give you a few announcements first, and then we're going to be talking tonight about Botox disasters. And the reason I want to talk about it is I'm seeing a growing amount of PR going on about it. There's some Instagram platforms and there's more and more on YouTube. But really, the key reason why I'm mentioning it is, yes, we know, we understand that it's not the choice that we would make. People do it, but the key is how does it impact us and the treatments we're doing? And I think this is a discussion we need to have. And I think it's going to require a little bit of research with those that do it. I had hoped we'd have a few more on that we could have a discussion. But if I present the facts, if you're watching this on replay and you have something to say, please email me and we can have a conversation next week. This is very important. It links with the licensing issues we've had. What I realize is there are far more disasters than I thought. And if I could actually bear to go to professional beauty education forum, I'd probably see more of it, because that's when I heard about all the issues with laser therapy many years ago. But there's only so much time in a day, and I really don't want to mix with nail technicians. It's just very naily now. It doesn't really feel that advanced anymore. I think it's died since the pandemic. Anyway, announcements. First of all, my bags. These bags are being made pre-order only. These are the Celluma bags, which I desperately needed one for me, because I go into the clinic, I'm carting my £2,000 Pro in there, and the other assistant, which is what, £1,000. And I don't want it to get wet. It's starting to rain a lot now. I don't want it to get wet. I don't want it to get damaged. The bag hangs around on the floor. So we've solved everything for me. And I'm offering to do it for you. So really, this is saying to you, if you have a Celluma and it will last, this bag will last you forever. And it's actually good for so many other things. You could get a couch roll in it. It's long. It's got multiple uses. So if you're traveling to a clinic and you want to have a bag that's going to do the job. And by the way, I went to John Lewis. I've just bought myself a little outfit yesterday, and I went back because it was too small. I've gone up a size, and I was like, okay. And I was looking at bags, and I mean, you pay 80, 90 quid for this plastic thing. The prices are absolutely insane. So if this was to go into the market, you'd probably be talking about a couple of £100 for the quality you're going to get. And I'm offering it to you at £97 directly with him, no VAT. It's on my website at 145, current offer 122.50 plus VAT. So you are getting the best deal I can give you. I also do need to get my classes coming up filled. I have a class in April at the end of the month. I have 3 spaces free. This is once again at my flat. And I've just been talking to a couple of my lovelies in the room that for the moment, I'm going to put the teachathon on hold that I was planning in September. If you've heard that previously, keep doing the smaller groups for now. I do enjoy them, I have to say. But we do need to have you joining us for these and getting your training. And I am going to hold a very lovely conference for you all one day in September. We're just working on the dates. So you're going to hear from me with a schedule of dates. I'm not doing Marbella either. They will be in the UK, and I will be in the US in August. So that's my updates there. Botox. Right, let's talk about Botox. I'm going to share screen with you. Actually, let me open the window, because I've got some stupid, gosh, I've just been told by Adblock that they've blocked 177,799 ads for me. Isn't that kind of them? I actually do want to see them because I'm doing online advertising, so I might actually cancel my ad block. Right, let me find. I'll start off with Instagram. I would recommend follow this person. I think you should. Let me just let me see if it's her right. Is it her? Yes, it is. I'm on her. I scrolled right up because I wanted to familiarize myself before doing this evening with the kind of material. How long are you away in August for? Lorraine, I'm going to be It's the end.
Right.
I'm away. I'm doing just so the guys from the States, if they're watching, I'm doing Los Angeles 23rd, 24th, 25th with Anissa. She'll be running it. I'll be supervising. And then I'll be in Syracuse again with Jennifer Waters teaching in her lovely house in Syracuse. We had so much fun last time. And it's really so nice to get out of New York City. It's the cost of it. I know people want to be in Manhattan, but you know, if someone's learning with me, it's just nice to kind of take yourself away, be somewhere different and immerse. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm not planning to go into Manhattan. It was too expensive. I will avoid it like the plague. Talk about plague. These women look like they've got the plague. Let me show you. Okay, so this is the site. I've started following them. Botox and filler side effects. Now, I had no idea how many problems people are experiencing. So if you go on to this one, can you see the Oh, hang on. I'll take the sound down. Oh, that's not what I want. I never talk about it. Okay, I think you've got the idea. There wasn't great Lucy. Okay, so look, people are I don't know why they put this such loud music on, but I can't turn mine down. You may not hear me. She's talking here about basically infections. This is a good one. Neurological problems. This isn't our first time around. Past lives could never come between us. I can't really see a lot of it. There's one coming up. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Don't wake me up. This filler. Oh. Look at the state of these lips. Look at this. You see how massive they are. So either they've swollen from infection, but now look, next frame. Look at that. And basically, this was a vitamin E injection causing reactions and unable to be treated by multiple antibiotics. Now, I've got a film called Botox Britain, which I have got a drive now. It's a really good film. It was published by the BBC back in 2005. I spoke to the producer of it to see if I could buy it, but I have a recording and I wanted permission to play it, but I can just do it, I think. I've just got to work out if I can get the two machines to speak. And I will do a film show about it because it's really interesting. It's filmed in the UK and it takes you through some stories of a number of girls. One is like this with her lips. This is not an uncommon problem. I mean, it really is. I think it has to stop. But women, I mean, I've got somebody I know who does these ridiculous scallop lips. I mean, what is the matter with people? But this is absolutely terrible. I'll keep going. So there's another one which was really interesting, and she makes a very good point. This lady, just listen to her.
I'll probably get a lot of crap for this, but you drink your celery juice, you do your infrared sauna, you say use non-toxic beauty products, you know, get the mold out of your house, work out, do all that stuff that's healthy for you, but you're still putting Botox in your body. Botox is a toxin, it's a poison. The commercial even says that the side effects can happen up to weeks after. So I don't understand. There are other natural ways to prevent wrinkles. I learned the hard way. I got poisoned.
So
I'll probably get a lot of crap for.
So what's interesting, there's another chat. How long? Oh, that was, I've seen that. Okay. The thing about this, there's a number of posts in here, and I have looked through them all, where they say that you may not get your side effect, or your problem may not arise instantly. So people have gone into hospital, they haven't, the medics or they haven't realized it's associated with the filler or the Botox, particularly the Botox, and it's moved, it's migrated. We know it can, and it's causing secondary problems, but they don't put two and two together, and it can happen even a month after it's done. And that is what's concerning me, because people are asking me, someone's had filler or Botox in particular, because filler's there for a long, long time. I think we all understand that now. People are having Botox. Oh, when can I give them acupuncture? And the reality is, I'm not sure now. This is my concern. So they talk about breast milk. And the thing about this lady, the reason I really wanted to show you this woman that was just spoken, is a number of the people who we are working with are really having these procedures done, possibly, or have. They're all into their, I always call it the yoga brigade, but that's not being disrespectful. They take pride in their health and well-being, as she's just said. But my big issue, and it is a big issue, is they also like to know that their products aren't tested on animals. And if I were to tell you that at least 4,000 animals are tested on every year with Botox, there is also little evidence, and there was a post about it further on. I'm not going to bore you with all the ins and outs. There's little evidence about the safety of integrating it with other therapies, and that's what triggered me. That's when I thought I have to talk about it tonight. Let's have a look at this one. This is the lips. So it's whether...
Well, guys, I'm on the way to go back and get these dissolved. I'm not ready for that because that's gonna hurt really bad, but whew,
Isn't that awful? Oh gosh. And there's a model who died. She was like the new Marilyn Monroe. She died. I was watching a YouTube about her. I can't remember her name, an American woman, blonde, beautiful. They said they called her the new Marilyn Monroe. And she died. She had double breast implants. They were so massive, they were splitting her skin. She was in agony and suffering from infections, but all because she wanted to look big-breasted and beautiful for the photographs. And it's absolutely obscene. Her skin was splitting under her breasts. I know. You couldn't make it up, could you? We know about the Brazilian bottom thing. Yeah. Anyway, have a look at this. So it is Botox and fillers side effects. That's the... I think if you just put Botox in your Instagram search bar, but I would absolutely, I mean, there's some studies here. Let's have a quick look at this. This is difficult. So see full article. Let's just see. Oh, okay, it's a link. So do have a search around. I will, because there's obviously lots of quite good information in here. And obviously the person that's done this must have had her own journey. Often it's somebody that has an experience, obviously. Now, I think I can share to YouTube now. Can you see it change? Can I see a thumbs up if you saw that window change? Yep. So this is, again, on YouTube. Now, YouTube has become the new Google. It is remarkably good for... I mean, if I need to know how to do something, I don't go to Google, I go to YouTube. It's brilliant. But here you've got a lot of articles here. This lip problem again. I mean, look at this one. I gotta see this one. Oh, I've seen it all right for halfway through it.
Well, that being said, what was that challenge? If you can walk us through.
I don't know. Oh,
to completely resurface the forehead. And then the last major surgery was to try and essentially do like a facelift to take the bulk of silicone and other materials that was filling out the middle and lower parts of her face and cheek to give her just a more natural contour to the face.
And Carol, the reason that I'm so impressed with you is this is the worst case.
I have to tell you, somebody on that WhatsApp thing or you Instagram, get the app right, Amanda, for God's sake, had said that the surgeon had said he has to literally remove her face and scrape it away and put it back. Permanent fillers. Let's listen to this.
We've seen here. And your result is phenomenal. And
look
where
at that.
you came from, I want to ask your daughter quickly, because you're bravely holding your mom's hand, Sophia. You're part of the reason that your mom is here today. I don't think she would be here or have sought help if it weren't for you. So kudos to you. But what allowed you to convince your mom that it was time to start living again?
I just felt like it was time. I hadn't seen my mom's eyes in 4 years. I haven't been able to
We
look
watched
into
the
her eyes in
beginning.
4 years, and I just knew she had a better quality of life than.
Let me just come to the beginning because I can't remember this. I've obviously watched it.
Seeing that photo of you saying, why did she touch her face? Well, you're going in for what you felt was a simple injection. What can that hurt? You trusted the doctor. You trusted what this doctor was injecting into your face. And the three of us as board certified plastic surgeons, we've all seen this. People that have received silicone injections in the face, in the body, in the breast. And I can see why you would be talked into that, because when you say, okay, silicone is permanent, that sounds great. Oh, I don't have to come back. I don't have to come back. I'm going to address the issue and it's taken care of. Well, what the problem with silicone is you never know how it's going to react. It is permanent. In so many cases, it's just a matter of time that it is going to become an inflammatory problem. So that being said, Reza, let's get you involved. And I just want to say, first of all,
I'll send you the link to this one, but it's The Doctors. I think I'll subscribe. It's called The Doctors. There we go. You can just find it on YouTube. The Doctors got 1.94 million. Oh, there are quite a few. I do, as you know, follow this chap, Karam, Dr. Karam. He's very good. Rajani, although he's diversified a little bit. But the question is, and this is the thing, do we work on people that have had Botox? I'm of a view that we should extend the 3 months to 6 months. I will speak. I don't know who to speak to. I've got a number of people. Everyone has a different view. This is the problem I've had. No one can give me a straight answer. I think I need to look at the research, but there is no research about integrating because the thing is, if there's a problem, they'll blame us for putting a needle in and creating an infection. And in fact, on that, I have something else to tell you. Let me just stop sharing. So I'm doing quite a lot of work on social media at the moment, you may have noticed. And I had somebody through on Facebook, I've got the names. One person came up and he was making a comment about, just another false claim about the beauty industry. It's about intradermal needle being available at Lasso in the States now. And then he started saying, and you can get infections. And then I replied, and I said, what evidence is there from the Acupuncture Society? And I said, always look me up. What evidence is there? And I went back and said, well, an acupuncturist and placebo. He's an ignorant. He's nothing to do with any of us. I've checked his profile. And I went back very politely and I said, look, a lot of people get a great benefit from acupuncture clinically, but it's working on mechanisms that even our science doesn't understand. And then he wrote back and said, that understood. And then he started going on about infections and needles. And he brought out the BAF. And I thought, hang on, you're just talking out of your ass. Or you're a robot. He's a real person because I checked him. Somebody else then piped in on the feed and I thought, okay, I'm just going to not reply and I'm going to delete the feed. But here's the thing, what if? Not with our normal treatments, of course, not a problem. What if there's something that's gone in, because they're talking also about, if you look on the Instagram site, they're talking about the components of these fillers and things, and they do contain animal product or potentially inflammatory products, a bit like the silicone. I don't think we're using silicone anymore, but so what if within that 3-month period, they were going to get that infection anyway? It had nothing to do with us. But as I've always said about people that treat pregnancy, something goes wrong, they're going to go, well, what have you done? I've been here, and I've had acupuncture. Oh, it must be the acupuncture. I'm not going to get political about what's going on in the Middle East, but very similar, you know. Oh, we have to believe what the press say, nothing about the reality of what's really going on. And so I'm thinking 3 months minimum. Not, I think I've said to a few people 6 weeks before you can needle them. I'd wait 3 months to be 100% sure that the procedure they've had is on its way out in terms of that. But the problem we have is fillers, because fillers last for a long, long time. And I know there's been some discussion about, you know, I've worked on filled face to try and disperse. I mean, there's a particular patient I have at the moment, and I'm uncontracting the contraction and softening the features. It makes me nervous, because I even want to do some research about undoing some of the damage, but it makes me nervous because this thing has got a little life of its own. Please keep me posted if you hear, see, or know of anything, everybody out there in virtual land, because it could save us all a lot of heartbreak. And unfortunately, people are still very hostile towards us as acupuncturists. I think it's going to take, I don't know how long it's going to take. I think there was one, I can't remember who it was, very famous professor or a philosopher who said, the only time when new ideas can come through is when all the people with the old ideas have actually died. And I mean, the likes of Edward Ernst, you know, Simon Singe is quite young. There are a new breed of young people coming up. You have to be remarkably careful about what you say on your websites. And of course, I said nothing. I just talked about it's a needle we're using. I was not aimed at the public at all. The public see the email, but it's aimed at people who are going to buy and be able to buy a disposable, sterile intradermal needle. But can you see how people can become very ugly? So with all the press now, with the fillers and Botox, first of all, it was all the weird faces. Everyone was talking about cat face and all of this business. Now the infections are starting. We've got licensing happening. We need to be squeaky clean. And I would suggest to you that you're very cautious about working on fillers and Botox, and take time on Botox. It will wear off. And if they've got neurological problems, we can probably help them with ear acupuncture. But I would work cautiously with filler. I would actually want to know what filler they've had, because that's the other thing. These things can become toxic over time. So I think it's a little bit of homework. If anyone can give me an authority on this, I would be fascinated. I have met in my life different companies or people from companies who do fillers, but unfortunately they are not scientists and they haven't properly researched it. But and again, all these products are tested on those poor animals. And that's it. I just had to make the point that, you know, we could come under fire a little bit. And we just have to be remarkably careful. And I think if you don't trust your client, who might have lied about when they had the Botox and filler, I'd almost want to see evidence of when. Yeah. And if you don't trust them, would you want to take the chance? But go on, sorry.
Will ruin your career.
Well, there is a pre and post care document that I have given you. It's on the signature course. It's in the consultation section in part 2. I know a lot of you haven't seen part 2. Please go watch it. Part 2. Now, this is a pre and post. I had a friend who had laser eye surgery. It was really quite interesting because he had to sign an initial every single page. And it's really important that he did that because it so happens he used to be a welder. And it was a very responsible, amazing clinic that were doing the treatment on him. And they went through the questions in great detail and questioned him. And apparently, if you've been a welder, no, it wasn't. It was MRI. That was for laser eye. And then he had an MRI. He had to have an MRI scan. Sorry. That's, again, where they went through a really strict checks and balances procedure. And it was by complete coincidence that they found out he used to be a welder. He actually welded the controls on the barrier, Thames barrier. Isn't that exciting? So when you weld, you get lots of bit of metal in the air. And in those days, they didn't wear goggles. And they checked his eyes, but it could have been if he'd had metal in his eye and he'd gone in the MR, yes. So in the same way, which is why I'm using that analogy, we have this pre and post sheet I've done. It's pretty robust. It clearly warns them about the risks of Botox and filler and migration if we were to do it too soon. Please go to that section and download it. Go through it, see if you like it. Because they have to check the box to show they've understood. And I'm not suggesting, because I know there's a lot of paperwork in my treatments, I'm not suggesting you do that for everybody. But if they have indicated that they have in their life had Botox and filler, or if you can see they have, because let's be honest, please get them to sign that. Even though it may not sit in court, it's not a legal document. I haven't had it drawn up by a lawyer. It shows that you've gone to the trouble of a duty of care to take time. And in the event they say they have had it, and I may revisit it and maybe extend the period of time. I think I've said 6 weeks. I'd make it longer. From what I could see in some of those reports, I was having a good old look earlier, it can be a couple of months, up to 3 months before the negative side effect appears. And there you go. And the other problem, and we get this with cancer patients, and I think you all saw that report I meant about cancer advertising that you do support cancer has been allowed. Any other referral to cancer, you have to be very careful. They're coming down. There's 700 complaints made to CNHC, not about a microsystems acupuncture, but about all the other therapists. I think I wrote about that last week. In the same light, you just have to be really, really careful about, I forgot what I was going to say now. Hang on, it was important. Go on.
Cancer patients.
Yeah, no, it was using that. It was the cancer patient example. And you just have to be really, really careful because, again, that's, an area that they're flagging with any advertising and anything. If I can't remember what I was going to say now. My brain's gone. I didn't go to bed very early last night, so I've completely got myself to blame. Does anybody want to mention? Lucy, have you treated anybody with Botox and filler? I don't know if we can hear you. Oh, she's having conversation. You're not listening to me. I'm all upset now. I was saying, have you treated anybody with Botox and filler?
Yeah, I have. And I mean, she's had Profilo. Is that the same? No.
Well, this is the point. What is it? I think it's time to, that was exactly what I was going to say. It's time to know what's in these products and how long, what they recommend, the manufacturers recommended. Oh, that was it. The reason I mentioned cancer, it's come back. Thank you, Lucy. One of the criticisms in a recent meeting at CNHC, well, recent, not 5 years, 6 years ago, I know, that these people have too many different treatments, maybe on the same day, and we don't really understand how those interface. So, like, for example, if you go for a bone treatment, Bowen, not Bowen, You're not supposed to have any other treatment that day. When I go to my McTimoney chiropractor, I didn't even realize I'm not supposed to have a hot bath because she set my body very gently, no cracks and wax or anything. It's all very Bowen-y. It's kind of nice. But if I go in a hot bath, and my body will just merge back into the hunch position it was before I went to see her. So what you do afterwards can actually matter. Now, in the case of my lady with the chiro, she didn't actually give me a pre and post. Never told me, don't do this and don't, after your treatment. Yeah, that's why I produced the pre and post. But we actually have no idea how and we know there's some clear merging of therapies which will conflict, because I've just given you two, Bowen, and you can't go and have another treatment because you'll undo the Bowen. It's very gentle. With acupuncture, you know, coffee can undo the benefits because of the adenoceptors. But how would it respond if they go from acupuncture straight to a full body massage? Well, I always say to people, enough for one day. I always say to my clients, just have one treatment, and my treatment in one day. But the stupid idiots have gone and booked their aromatherapy straight afterwards. And this is the thing. I've always said to my students, do not trust your patients. Don't send them home with a blinking derma roller to infect themselves. Don't reuse it. Another reason, do not reuse it, because some people say, oh, well, if you've had Botox, you can do microneedling on top. It's okay. Well, provided it's a blinking brand new roller head and not one that you've spritzed and cleaned. And I just think everything I've ever warned people about, it's all coming clear because other people have created a problem. And we haven't had yet, touch wood, a problem. It's waiting to happen, in my opinion, or the blame to be pointed wrongly. So the squeaky clean your paperwork. If you suspect, either refuse to treat them in that area. You can still do a lovely little facial. They probably wouldn't have had filler and Botox here. So he's not going to say, well, they could have done the jaw. I mean, make sure you document everything they're telling you. And if you suspect they're lying, you say, you know what? I don't think this is an appropriate treatment for you. I can do this instead. I can do that instead. I can needle here, needle there, scalp. You know, you can deal with it temporarily, but I'd be very careful. And I have heard from a number of my students and grads, obviously you're graduates now, most of you, that they knew they were lying when they were she said she was lying. I knew she was lying. I know. So get them to sign. And I know, and I'll just remind you, I probably told you a million times, but I've got new people coming on here all the time. In Light Wellness, which was the light therapy company I work with in the States, had a case of somebody that signed their waiver, missed out some of it, had a pre-existing condition with their retina, had the light therapy, had a side effect, which was a negative side effect, tried to sue them, and he was a lawyer, but he had not disclosed his pre-existing condition. And this is in the States. No claim. So I think we just do as much as we can. The other thing we can do, and I did speak to a clinical malpractice lawyer. She was a mother at the school that my kids used to go to. And I said to her, well, you know, I can't remember her name. And she said, oh, Janet, that's it. And I said, Janet, you know, what would be? She said, well, Amanda, I just need to know, can you paralyze somebody? That's all she wanted to know. Can you paralyze somebody? I said, well, if you watch Kiss of the Dragon, he did. That's the film with Jet Li, but I love that film. But it's more than that. I don't think that's enough of her to be concerned. It's infections, and hence me mentioning those two fairly hostile Facebook interactions this week. Enough said. I think you all understand me now. Paperwork. If you're not sure, it's maybe worth you or us as a community. I did try and do this once. It didn't work. hiring a clinical malpractice lawyer to actually give us paperwork. If you're up for that, let me know, because I could speak to Janet. I'm sure she's not retired. She's my age, so she might have done. But and I could get it drafted. It's a top London firm, a proper pre and post, because of what I feel is a risk to us. And we're relying on truth, and we're not going to get truth. We don't know the products they've had. People have never told me what product they've had. If they did, I wouldn't really know what it is, what that means, how long it lasts. What's the risk of that product, because the manufacturer's never going to disclose it. Is there a database? I mean, there's a whole pile of things. I don't know. It may be that legal firm have access to that, because if they're seeing claims come in fact, I'm going to reach out to her. Let me find out how much she would charge. And what I can do is get some contributors. The people that want access to this will pay me. I'll just split it into X number of bits, and it will be a community-owned asset. And then for people who haven't joined yet, I'll add it to the course fee and say, plus a community-owned legal disclaimer, which therefore, they'll have, and at least that way we've had a lawyer look at it. Maybe it's time.
As long as they write it in user-friendly language.
Oh, it won't be.
It's another language, isn't it? Like learning,
Yeah.
medical.
Oh, it is. I mean, I don't know if any of you know, there's a film being made about me. I do need to speak to the actress. She's on my list. I did reach out a couple of times. I haven't heard, but I know she's busy, as have I been. Anyway, and I had to sign that contract.
Oh, did you have to get somebody to translate?
Well, I wanted to speak to her issuing lawyer, and she was traveling, and then in the end I ran it past my intellectual property lawyer, and he said, look, it's all pretty much standard, and I signed it. He said, you might just want to think about that, and you might just want to think about that, but honestly it might as well have been Chinese, because apart from
well, some of it it's unreal.
Yeah. So and when I signed and in fact worse than that was the contract I signed with Manitou Television. I actually did a gig with Manitou TV. I actually did a couple of episodes with them where I was treating their team. But I started off by doing a demonstration of cosmetic acupuncture. It's on my YouTube channel. It's kind of fun, actually. I might put the link on my website and have it under media appearances. Anyway, that was Chinese.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I was petrified on that one, because I thought, shit, I have no idea what they're going to
do. The rights to everything about you.
They could produce anything they like. And in the end, it was an absolute diamond thing. Anyway, I'm going to close the meeting. Lucy's got to go. Darling, I'll speak to you tomorrow. Lorraine, thank you so much for being here. I think it's been fun. I think it's important that we have these discussions. And yes.
Amanda, did you know when you said you'd put it in the notes about a specific acupuncture earbook? Oh, I trawled all over your circle and I couldn't find
Auriculo. It's Auriculo. Let me put the link in the
I've written down your books that you favour, but have you heard of
it's Discovery. Oh, let me put the link to it's on my main website.
I've seen the link to books that you recommend that hit on Amazon, but there was quite a few, and I didn't know if you had a particular favourite for auricular. They each offer different things, don't they?
I'll be honest with you. I've got them all. I've got Chalmers, I've got Olson, which I didn't understand until I trained with him. It was all gobbledygook to me.
Harry Olson, I love that poster you showed.
I need permission for him to reproduce it. Basically, what I do is I just print off at A3 and give it A4. But the posters, to print a poster is about 30.
It's expensive. I tried to get that poster. It's off the strap. They're not being printed again because people Like $100?
He's printing. I could probably pick up some in Los Angeles. He's only doing them in Los Angeles. They're not available in the UK.
America, yeah.
Because of shipping and everything. But I've got mine. It's ragged. I'd like a new one. I'd like permission to actually reproduce it. And I could
write it to death, won't it? Because it's a superb piece of work.
He's an old boy. Yeah, he needs paying for it. But I don't know how to access it because everybody loves that poster. I do. I live by that poster. I use it all the time.
I just loved the way, the different ways it said it all on a poster.
I know. It's really great. You've got the musculoskeletal, you can visualize the body on it. It's fantastic.
The head is, and the chin and the face and the earlobe, everything.
I'm in LA. I did try and meet up with him when I was in LA when I met him previously, but he's a kind of quiet kind of guy. But let me reach out to him and see if I can do it through Shuan, my friend Shuan, who signed him up. Shuan and Jonathan are really big in ears. And I'll speak to them. I'm going to get them to come to the event actually and present. That'd be fantastic. She also does TCM friendly raw food as well. So I mean, she could think for two of them. They really contribute beautiful things for our conference. But I don't really open any of the books. I use the Auriculo app. It is so good.
The Auriculo app. Oh, the app. Yes, sorry. Yes, the app. Yes, itself.
And there's a link to that. I updated the link on the microsystems course. The one on my website's an old link. I'll put the new link in the chat now, so I've got it. Because I had. No, I tell you what, I'll add the link, add a Auriculo link in the follow-up email. It's an affiliate link. I don't get very much, it's pennies, but every penny is sort of nice if you can support.
Yeah.
They've redone it. It is so good. You don't buy any of the books. You just press a button.
Not 3D, is it? No.
It's 3D. It moves around. In fact, I tell you what I can do. I'll do a presentation on it. Presentation on ear acupuncture next week. How about that?
That'd be great. Amanda, have you heard of a guy called Axel Rubach? He did principles of ear acupuncture.
No, I haven't heard of him.
No. An anaesthetist friend of mine who is an acupuncturist raved about this particular person. I mean, there's so many books out there, like you say. It's like,
well, the thing is, are you going to use them? I mean, the point is, you can spend £100 on books and not use them. You spend $150 or whatever it is. It's an annual subscription. The app is updated. You've got even the teeth and how they relate to the body and which acupuncture points.
It's like Peter Dedman's app's fantastic.
Yeah, well,
you've got it.
I have problems getting into that. I'm going to have to speak. Yeah, no, actually, some of it's really weird. I think you're only allowed to use one device at a time. So when I'm teaching, it's a real pain. I tend to use it mostly on my computer. Journal of Chinese Medicine, I've had a real problem with my subscription. I paid and I don't get it, so I don't know what's going on there. So I need to sort that out. These are all the bits and scrags that you have to deal with in life. You don't never get, I've got more important things
to get down to it.
Yeah. But the Auriculo app is outstanding, and there is no competition, because when I did an affiliate marketing training, one of the exercises was we had to go and find all the competitive products that they don't have one. No one would have put the time and effort into that app as much as they do. I don't agree with all the locations, but if you want a protocol on anything herpes or constipation, it gives you a really good overview of the kind of recipe, the ingredients.
I know what you mean, like,
and it's 3D. It's fantastic, and don't bother with the books. If you do want one, I'd possibly get the Beata Strittmatter, because she's very good.
What's that?
She's German. It's on my list, Beata.
Right. German.
It's an English book, Tima. I still think it fell apart on me, the book, though. The binding wasn't very good, but that's a little pocket book. But I'll be honest, you don't need it. I think all you need is the Auriculo and the notes. And if you want more on ears, I do cover it in more depth in the certificate course. And any of you that want to know more on the ears, other than what you're going to train with me for signature, just for a little upgrade, you just come and do the certificate. There's all the face reading in there. There's a lot of other stuff that's really cool. Once you've got through the main signature, so you can kind of retrospectively purchase. A lot of people get the certificate foundation course, which I'm about to take to final cut, by the way. That's one of the things I do want to prep for in Spain. I have that time to do it. In between dealing with clients and everything, but then hopefully I'll have Lucy and Richard working so I can do that. But it's really, really important to just have that sort of broad other stuff that I couldn't fit into the signature course. So face reading is definitely one of them. And it's not Lillian's, it's the TCM face reading. It's looking at the kind of thing Lillian did. It's Lillian's Bridges was more about, oh, if you've got a pointy chin, it means you're stubborn. That was me, and I am. But I'm talking about noticing that what the color, because these people are new to TCM, what red cheeks mean, what red chin means, what pale line means, in terms of a diagnostic approach, not really the kind of, I call it the woo woo, but if I'm stubborn, what difference will that make to my okay, it might indicate I'm more liver or whatever, maybe, but I'm really looking for direct signs of syndromes, pale and red, heat, cold. I'm looking for proper TCM
well-being,
and that's what's in the certificate course in the modules. And I was limited to what I could do on the signature because I really did try and stay in focus. It's aimed at someone that should know that or have a good idea of it, but we can never keep that unless there's tongue diagnosis, which I'm going to redo as well. But in terms of our knowledge base, I mean, you can do the biggest degree in the world, but you'll remember maybe 5%, the bit that you use every day. So and there's no point buying the books because unless you're a bookworm and you totally will study, what you want is something that you can look on the job.
All the time on the job, exactly.
On the damn job, because it's there for you when you really need it. And then go find those answers in a book.
Oh, I know.
Content section, and there's
some books are like tombs, aren't they? They're like,
going to cart that book with you to the clinic? I don't think so. And that's why I really love the auricular up, and all the people that are training with me, that's what I'm recommending they get, whether it's through me or not. I mean, that's it.
Anyway,
we need to fix a date for you. I mean, yeah, I'm still recording actually, but I could probably
sorry
for 1 second. Hold on, I was about to, so we could have our chat. Thank you for watching, everybody. And next week we'll look at eerie things on request.